We're live.
We are live. Are we live?
She's made me a little bit drunk, so I'm not sure I
I
did it.
have nothing to do with
Laura.
that. Thank you.
Hey, I am number
I
58
refuse to
rising
take
in literature today.
responsibility.
I know, I'm so excited for Rose. Because you were wet before.
It was 92 yesterday,
And then
rising in literature, and now I'm
today,
58 rising in literature.
how cool is
Wow.
that, right?
That was awesome.
I was pretty excited.
It is that. Okay, let me find us. Why am I not finding us? I'm sorry, I'm having a little
Why are we
trouble
not here?
sitting right now after the vodka.
Why are we not here?
I warned you it's 100 proof.
It is, and it was wonderful. So good. Laura, hey.
Hi, Laura.
Where
Oh,
is Sacred? Because I've
Yes.
warned her what I'm going, that I added more to Camera Obscura.
Yeah, I'm
Is it
so
just
excited
not?
about that. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm having technical difficulties right now. Audrey, hello. Yes.
Hello,
It's
everyone.
trying to do I'm going to do the live on there, and I don't want to do that because I'm on there. Let me try again.
1966 words. I finally remembered where I left off. So
That's
almost
amazing.
2,000 words added.
Tell
For the
everybody
Camera
all
Obscura.
the stories that you have and how many words. It's amazing. Sacred.
Yeah, don't we wish I'd stick to one? I might have
Right.
finished one by now.
It's very cool. I like all your stories, though. Very fun.
Ah,
That's cute.
darn it.
Okay, now I can find the right one. Here we go. Very fun. Oops. I got to mute this. There we are. Muted. We need to find food, too.
Incandescent.
I need to do a food thing. Sacred, do you want to come on for a little bit? Sarah, long time no see.
I'm not sure.
Sacred, do you want to come on for a little bit so I can deal with our food
Eating?
situation?
She wants to eat.
Who wants to eat? Oh, me. I want to eat. Yeah. Sturg, that was so much fun. So much fun. I can't believe I actually was brave enough, and I wasn't even this drunk when I did it. It was so cool.
No, that's what most people do. I'm going to go ahead and drop you and invite Sacred. So you
I
can eat,
figured
okay?
it was either that or gummies. So, okay, drop me and we'll do food, and then I'll be back.
All right. You do
It
food.
only took several tries for me to not end the thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
one
get
of
it sometimes and not others.
Hello, everybody.
Now I'm stuck here until Sacred can get off, because if I walk away, there's just two black boxes. And people get confused and wonder why nobody's actually showing up on camera anymore.
Well, that's why you put your little, you turn it around to the picture you drew.
Right?
Like,
It's still not a person. They're going, there's nobody actually on here. You know.
There's no people here. Why are there no people here?
And meanwhile, you guys are talking. They're like, "Am I hearing things? There's no one
Right?
on camera."
hey, Sturge, we're going to talk steaming hot vaginas.
Oh, yin yang.
I am all in.
Oh,
Hi,
dear.
yin yang.
Already
Sturge started it.
3 minutes. 3.
Sturge.
It took you guys 3 minutes.
Sturge started it.
Sturge, whatever you do, stay out of left field with her, okay? Because she got in left field the other day and she didn't come back the rest of the thing. She was gone. So do not lure this woman out to left field, whatever you do.
No. None of it.
We will not be held
like a little
responsible.
bit when I go to left field.
Speaking of responsibility, Robes, maybe you should read the warning so everybody's prepared.
Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta move some stuff around here real quick.
Okay, because I could go look for it myself.
Be entertaining for a minute.
Okay, because I have my own copy.
Salad tossing sacred? Yeah.
Salad tossing sacred. That sounds like an interesting kind of
Oh, good. Is that a story to read on?
boy, it's way down there. I wrote a lot lately. I changed it a little bit. Do you want me to read my version of your stuff?
Sure. It doesn't matter.
We are not
works.
professionals. Just three people on a porch trying to make sense of things. Any wisdom, spoken or implied, is purely accidental and should not be considered professional advice. Please remember to go to the bathroom before watching the show and do not operate heavy equipment or other machinery while watching the podcast. Thank you.
Okay, now I have a keyboard. I'm ready, Sturg. I got a keyboard.
All set to go.
I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right.
I
can
hope
tuck
you
it
don't
away
mind the
and do it
wisdom.
silently. Look at that.
Spoken or implied.
Spoken or implied.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Wendy.
There's no intentional wisdom. We are not professionals.
Right. We know not what we are talking.
For if we were professionals, we would certainly be paid better than we are. Because this is
money's
illegal.
coming, honey. The money's coming.
If we were professionals, we'd be making at least minimum wage, and that's not happening. So,
Right.
Well, that depends on where you live. I think I'm making minimum wage for Tawangadonga or something.
outer Bangladesh.
Yeah, maybe in Bangladesh I'm making minimum wage in Bangladesh. That is minus 10 cents, right?
Oh, you didn't hear about me deducting for you missing the other day, then?
Oh, I'm making lower than minus 10 now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Don't you like paying for working here? I mean,
Sure.
it's true, actually, you do, since you're one of my still remaining paid subscribers. You pay me $5 a month for the privilege to do this. That's kind of sad.
That is kind of sad, isn't it? But now you
Oh
made
God,
me
I'm
feel
gonna
bad.
lose
I'll have
another
to
subscriber
stay.
now.
Well, I have 2 subscribers, so I'm just transferring the money.
I know.
You know?
I keep thinking, sometimes when someone pays and subscribes to me, I'm like, I'd love to pay to subscribe back, but I can't afford it. And I'm like, that would be so silly if everybody just sat there and gave each other $50 subscriptions everywhere. And
Right?
then no one would make a dime.
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. No.
No. So I'm grateful when I have a paid subscriber, especially newer ones, because
Oh, for sure.
people quit subscribing to me a lot lately for some reason. I didn't realize the show quality had declined so precipitously.
Sturge and I are in the same boat. He pays Brandon, I pay you. Look at that.
Right.
Right. See? That's how it is, Sturge.
Well, you see, I've got 2 paid subscribers, and I subscribe for pay to Robes and to Lisa, so I'm
Yeah.
broke after that.
Right.
Right, Laura? Who has $50 anymore?
Well, that's why I raised my yearly to like 200. I'd rather have the $5 a month. I would much rather have that.
Maybe they'll think it's a deal. They're like, wow.
It is a
She's
deal
charging
compared to
less for me to
200.
pay every month. This is awesome for me.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I figure. It's way better than 200 a year. So, $5 a month, that's $60 a year.
Mhm.
Way cheaper to do it $5 a month.
I might have to consider doing that.
And
But
here's
all
somebody breathing
all my
heavy.
annual people will just drop me entirely. They're like, "I'll forget it. I don't mind giving her $50 once, but this whole $5, no, I don't want that anymore."
Robesk, is that you breathing heavy over there? Because, that's kind of getting me a little flustered and warm.
Yeah, I was moving stuff around.
Ah,
Now I
okay.
can't breathe. So
I have to go deal with the puppy dog, I think.
crap.
We'll keep things going. I can't say we're going to behave, but
We're barking.
Oh my. Okay, I'm good.
all
I've
right.
moved all my things.
I am too. After hearing you breathe like that, I'm better now. Whew. Was it as good for
Warm
you
as
as it
hell
was
in
for me?
here. Huh?
Was it as good for you as it was for me?
Oh, yeah. Sure. Huh. You give the people the wrong idea here.
Well, they can't see either one of us. They don't know that we're not in the same room.
We're not in the same room.
They don't know that.
Thanks, Sturge. I'm glad to be a help, man.
That's what you.
I helped you
start
finish Sturg
moaning
and it
and
got me
panting.
started. So, woo.
Say,
Anytime I can
start
be of
moaning
help
and
to you, you
panting
just
and
let me know. And we'll talk like this and breathe hard. For you, all the time.
All right. That'll get me there too. Keep going.
I
So
do this for
imagine-
you. I do this for your birthday, Sturge. I do it for you.
Oh, Sturge, you should be very honored for that. Hi, Paul.
So earlier today, I was at Sturge's birthday karaoke party.
Yep.
And Lombok would not come inside when I called him. So I covered his feet up with plastic. Whoever's dog is barking my dog. God, no.
Not my dog.
I'm hoping when she doesn't hear anyone.
It's Carlton.
Ursula. Do you hear the grumbling back there? Anyhow, so I go outside. I go back to my kitchen.
Right? Sorry, man.
I go back to my
Who let
kitchen.
the dogs out?
Have fun. You guys go ahead. Do your thing. I know when I'm not wanted.
What? What happened? What is going on right now?
She's gonna quit trying to get in between you and Sturge.
Oh, sorry.
Anyhow,
Try again.
I leave the cat food up on the counter, and I come back in like 20 minutes later, and the cat food, the plate that had cat food on it, is upside down on its plastic on the floor, with one of the cats sitting beside it looking at it. And I walk over and I pick it up, and all of the cat food, but like 2 pieces, was licked out from between the plastic and the plate. And there's just one cat just looking very sadly at the plate. I'm like, "It was you, wasn't it?" And then my son comes home, and he's like, I tell him that it got knocked down, and he's like, "Which one did it? It was this one, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I have 2 cats that look alike. And he points at the one that did it. Then he walks over, the other one is sitting on the wall. The other one that's black, white spot on his chest. And he said, "Yes, it was this one." And I'm like, "No, it was the one you pointed at first."
Right.
Like, "No, it was Monty, and that is not Monty you're petting."
Right.
But when I yelled at Ursula and asked if she wanted to go out, she had her paws like this, crossed. And she's like, looked at me. Didn't even move a paw. Just like, "What are you talking about? I'm just over here." And it's like, "Why are you having a sordid affair in Japanese?"
I only do
Who's
English, so
faking the
that's
British
Sturge
accent?
having the affair.
No
in
one
Japanese.
here
If
is
you do a
fucking
fake British
What are you
accent, speak in
thinking about, Sturge?
Japanese.
Stop it. Stop it. Wouldn't be
What's
very
that,
good at
Rose?
this. Pretended now, would he?
Japanese spoken with a fake English accent. Well, that's, and he says Japanese, and you said, I was short of fair. I only got American English. And he says, as long as you speak a British accent, it's all good. And so I'm like, Japanese with a British accent. That seems like a much lower, goal, I guess, than.
So is that like one hung low or? I mean,
I'm not sure. There's Japanese with an English accent. There's Japanese with an American accent. They are very different, I assure you.
well, since I don't know any Japanese, you could
bloody children they can bloody afford to bloody feed.
Sayonara. Sayonara, I bet.
Sayonara.
Right?
I can't do that in a no.
All right. I think you've all lost your minds.
Well, I'm all yours, Robes. You know that, but I mean, it is Sturgis' birthday. I'll flirt with him for his birthday.
All right.
All
right.
But I'm all yours.
Okay. I guess.
You don't have to worry.
Sure, whether to be scared of that or not. But
I'll let you know later, sweetie.
Julie says that her son, when he was younger, would try to do a British accent, and her British son-in-law would tell them and sounded like it was Australian. And Sturge is Japanesing at us. I know it's not Japanese characters mixed in.
You're Japanesing at who? Me or Robes? I can't tell.
Neither can I.
Robes, do you know if that's aimed at you or me?
I don't know.
Sturge, you're all by yourself in there, sweetie. Come join us. Come over into English and join us.
He says this conversation is being held in Japanese, by the way. Why do I know Japanese?
He's Japanesing himself.
I don't know. Why do you know? Why do you know Japanese? Why, Sturge? Why? Tell us.
We must know. Sacred, do you have something written for tonight?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, why don't you read so we can get things started going that way? And that gives Julie plenty of time to eat.
Get me to quit flirting, don't you?
Well, he won't flirt with me.
So you see how she is, guys? She turns off my flirt by getting me to read. Now we all know.
I am a terrible taskmaster.
All of this for my minus 25 cents an hour. Damn. So demanding. So demanding.
That's
Chinese chicken.
Chinese chicken?
Chickadee China.
That could be good.
Chinese
Okay,
chicken.
folks, if you all are ready.
All right.
If you're new to the Hank Castle Chronicles, here's what you need to know. Hank Castle is a retired private investigator in Marquette, Michigan, pulled back to work by a woman named Mara Calloway and a forged will connected to her father, Edmund Voss. What began as a straightforward estate case has become something considerably darker. A buried contamination report, 5 victims, a cover-up that reaches from an old Air Force base all the way through 20 years of county records and into the offices of a powerful law firm. Hank isn't working alone. Tom Ellison, a former Lansing detective searching for the father who vanished from his life, has become his partner. Their cases have been braiding together from the beginning in ways neither of them has fully recognized yet. This morning, they're sitting down with everything they have. It's time to see what they're actually looking at. Hang on one second. I gotta try and make this bigger because I'm struggling to see it. Okay, I think I got it. Every answer leaves Hank Castle with another question. Episode 11. Tom arrived at 2 minutes past 7 with the punctuality of a man who'd been awake since 5 and had spent the intervening hours doing something useful. He came through the doorway with a folder under one arm and the look of someone carrying information that hadn't let him sleep as well as he'd have liked. Hank already had 2 mugs on the table. Delia called last night, Tom said, settling into his chair. I figured. Hank pushed the coffee toward him. Tell me what you've got. Tom opened his folder. Fiona Dolan's records transferred to the University of Michigan medical system in Ann Arbor 8 years ago. She's been treated there since, ongoing. Aplastic anemia, immune dysfunction, and, he glanced at the page, premature ovarian insufficiency, total and permanent. He set the paper down. The transfer notes list her Marquette treating physician as someone who retired 4 years ago and moved to Florida. The original diagnosis is listed as idiopathic. He looked at Hank. No known cause. Huh, because nobody looked for one, Hank said. Agreed, Tom said. Hank wrapped a hand around his mug. Fiona Dolan, alive in Ann Arbor, being treated for conditions that had no official explanation and a very specific actual one. 20-some years of life shaped by something that had been buried in a manila folder under the label Soil, Do Not File. How did Delia take it? Hank asked. Tom looked at his coffee. She didn't say much, which with Delia means she's thinking harder than she's talking. She asked me again what this means. I told her I still needed a little more time. Good, Hank said. Hold that line a little longer. Tom nodded. He knew why without being told. Delia's connection to Voss through her own history was still unknown to her, and handing her Fiona's contamination story before she had any context for the larger picture could send her in a direction neither of them could control. The right moment mattered. Hank reached under his end of the table and produced Walter Hallinan's manila envelope. He set it between them without opening it. Walter gave me this Thursday morning, he said. I've been through it. I want you to go through it now, fresh, and tell me what you see. Tom looked at the envelope, then at Hank. He understood the discipline of it. Hank wanted his uncontaminated first read, the same way Hank had given Tom's 9 photographs his own uncontaminated first read on a rainy morning that felt like a long time ago now. Tom opened the envelope and began. He worked through it methodically, the way his training had taught him, setting items in order as he went, his face doing the careful, neutral thing it did when he was processing, rather than reacting. Hank drank his coffee and watched without appearing to. The base memo from 1994, improper disposal of chemical waste, East Quadrant, the document Jerry Peltonen had pulled from a shredding cart and handed to Walter 6 months before his own diagnosis. Tom read it twice, set it to the left. The parcel transfer records going back to 1989, a paper trail of land moving through shell corporations and holding companies with the practiced efficiency of someone who'd been doing this long enough to make it look routine. Tom's jaw tightened slightly. He set them beside the memo. The letter from the county health department, the one that had arrived 3 weeks after Walter filed his complaint, closing the matter without investigation. Tom read it once, set it down with a precision that suggested he was managing something. Then came the older materials. Photographs, documents, a few handwritten notes in Walter's careful block print. Tom worked through them one at a time. He was halfway through when he stopped. He was holding a photograph. Black and white, slightly overexposed. The kind taken with a cheap camera at the outdoor gathering of some sort. A union picnic maybe, or maybe a base social event. Several people, and there, at the edge of the frame, with that singular quality of considered distance that Hank had come to think of as his habitual position. But Tom wasn't looking at the edge of the frame. Tom was looking at the center of the photograph. At a young woman, maybe mid-20s, laughing at something outside the camera's view. dark hair, a familiar way of holding her shoulders. Hank watched Tom's face. He watched the recognition arrive. Not all at once, but in the way things arrived when they were true and the mind was catching up to what the eyes already knew. The slight stilling, the almost imperceptible intake of breath, the way Tom's thumb moved to the edge of the photograph without quite touching the woman's face. "That's my mother," Tom said. His voice was level, the levelness of someone applying significant internal pressure to keep it that way. Hank said nothing. Tom turned the photograph over. On the back, in handwriting that wasn't Walter's, older, different, 2 words and a date. A woman's name Hank didn't recognize and a year that put Tom's mother in her mid-20s, which matched the photograph. And beside her name, connected by a small hand-drawn line, another name, J. Ellison. Tom set the photograph down on the table. He put both hands flat on either side of it and looked at it for a long time. He was there, Tom said, at whatever this was, with her. He looked up at Hank. "You saw this?" "I saw it," Hank said. "When you went through the envelope?" "Yes." Tom looked at him steadily. Something moved across his face. Not quite anger, something more complicated than anger. "Why didn't you?" "Because I wanted you to find it yourself," Hank said, "the way you found it just now, without me standing between you and it." "What do you see, Tom? Not what does it mean yet. What do you see?" Tom looked back at the photograph. He was quiet for long enough that the kitchen settled around them. The refrigerator's hum, the distant sound of a neighbor's car. The familiar quality of a Friday morning that didn't yet know what it was going to be asked to carry. "I see my mother," Tom said carefully. "Younger than I've ever seen her. Laughing at something I can't see. And I see him. At the edge, same as always. But she's in the center, which means..." He stopped. "Which means he was there for her," Hank said quietly. "Not for whatever event this was. For her." Tom nodded slowly. He picked up the photograph again, turned it over, read the names one more time. "J. Ellison," he said. "John Ellison. My birth certificate name." He set it down. "He was using that name when this was taken." He looked at Hank. "Is this the same man? The same man in all 9 photographs?" "The posture," Hank said. "The way he stands at the edge even when he's there for someone in the center. The watch on the left wrist. Look at the left edge of the frame." Tom looked. The watch caught the light at the left margin, barely visible. The same wrist, the same position. "Same man," Tom said. "I believe so," Hank nodded. Tom sat back. He looked at the ceiling for a moment. The brief, private gesture of a person recalibrating something fundamental. Then he looked back at Hank with the steady eyes of a detective who'd learned to keep working when the case got personal. "What else is in the envelope?" he said. Hank looked at him with something that wasn't quite admiration, but was close to it. "Keep going," he said. Tom returned to the remaining documents with the quiet discipline that had always defined his work. Hank noticed Tom had set the photograph of his mother slightly apart from the other items. Not face down, not hidden, just separate. Acknowledged. Present. The remaining documents yielded 2 more significant things. The first was a carbon copy of an invoice. Voss Enterprises, dated 1997. For site remediation services on the K.I. Sawyer East Quadrant parcel. The remediation company listed was a shell entity that Walter's notes identified as dissolving 6 months after the invoice was paid. The work it billed for, soil testing and removal, had apparently never been performed. Someone had invoiced for cleaning up a contamination they then left in the ground. Tom looked at it for a long moment. They billed for work they didn't do, he said, and created a paper recording suggesting the contamination had been addressed, Hank said. So when the reclassification came through, there was documentation supporting the clean bill of health. Carol's seal, Tom said. Carol's seal, Hank confirmed. The second thing was a name. On a piece of notepaper in Walter's block print, paper clipped to the inside back cover of the envelope, a name and a firm. The junior partner at Harmon Veld and Associates, who'd come to Walter's door with a civilized threat in the early 2000s. Now a named partner. Now one of the most powerful attorneys in the county. Tom read the name. Read it again. He looked at Hank. How many people have pointed at this firm? Walter, Hank said. Hannah. Rick Dalton's kitchen drawer. He paused. And Ben Miller indirectly. Tom looked at the name on the paper. Is this who Hannah named? The person who made the call after she filed her complaint? No, Hank said, Hannah's name is different. Someone inside the county health department. But the two connect. Someone at Harmon Veld with a direct line to someone inside county government. That's how the complaints disappeared. That's how the letter went out closing the matter without investigation. Not one person, two, working in the same direction. Tom sat with that for a moment. Outside, the Friday morning was doing what Friday mornings did in Marquette in summer, warming slowly, the light coming in at an angle that made the kitchen feel briefly generous. There wasn't a clear answer, Tom said, looking at the spread of documents across the table, to any single question here. Every document answers one thing and opens three more. That's how it's been built, Hank said. That's not an accident. A cover-up that answers too cleanly is a cover-up that can be dismantled cleanly. This one was designed to be complicated, to make anyone looking at it feel like they were missing something. He looked at the table. We're not missing something anymore. Tom sat back, rubbed his forehead, and looked across the scattered papers. There's one other thing, he said. June. Hank nodded. What did you find? Tom reached into his folder and produced a single printed page. A news archive result, sparse and brief. A death notice from a Gwynn area paper, March 2023. June, last name. Hank noted was one he hadn't seen before, which meant she'd been using a different name by the time she died. Cause of death listed as cardiac arrest. Age listed as 51. No surviving family listed. No funeral home. No visitation. Cardiac arrest at 51, Tom said. No family, no service. Someone made sure she went quietly. Someone sure did, Hank said. There's more to find, Tom said. This is just the surface. I know, Hank said, and we'll find it. There's one more thing I need to tell you. Something Ben Miller told me Thursday morning at Delaney's. Tom looked at him steadily. The man in the warehouse, Hank said. Ben had a name for him. He paused, choosing his words with the care of a man who was giving Tom the truth, but not all of it yet. His name is Jack Castle. He's been managing Boss Properties for 30 years. Clean on paper, never arrested, but present in the background of things connected to Voss, the way, he stopped and started again. The way someone turns up when they know where to be. Tom looked at him. Castle, he said. Same name as you. Well, it's not an uncommon name, Hank said. Tom held his gaze for a moment with the eyes of a man who was deciding whether to push on something or let it sit. He let it sit for now. What's the next move? Tom asked. Hank looked at the table, at Walter's documents, the photograph of Tom's mother, the death notice for a woman named June who died quietly in March with no one to claim her, the name of a Harmonveld partner, paper clipped to the inside of an envelope that had been kept carefully for 20 years. Carol Ames, he said. Tom looked at him. It's time, Hank said. Everything on this table runs through that notary seal. We've been building toward her since the beginning, and we have enough now to go back to Gwyn with something worth saying. But I'm not going this time with a strategy for not pressing her. I'm going with everything we have, and I'm going to let her decide what kind of person she wants to be on the other side of this conversation. Tom nodded slowly. When? Monday, Hank said. That gives us the weekend to go through the rest of Walter's materials properly and decide exactly what we put in front of her. And Tom, this time you're coming with me. Tom looked at him with his quiet satisfaction of a man who'd been waiting to hear exactly that. Monday, he said. Hank nodded. He picked up the photograph of Tom's mother, young, laughing at the center of a frame for once, and placed it carefully back in Walter's envelope. He'd tell Tom the rest when he was ready to tell him. Not today, but soon. 20 days to go.
Wow. Wow. It just keeps getting better and better. I like
Oh,
it.
good. Thank you. High praise indeed. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. When Reb's like something, he's like, oh my gosh. He's so good.
Thank you, Sturg.
He's saying we're worthy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's really good.
Let's not get crazy.
Well, hello, everybody that I missed coming in, and thank you, everybody.
You've gotten a marriage proposal.
Oh, Sturg. I'll ask my husband if I can.
Yep.
I'll have to see how he feels about it, but yeah, why not? You can teach me Japanese, right?
Someone has to.
Polygamy would be good.
Stur says you can both join. He's not picky.
All right. My husband might like that. Who knows?
A little polycule.
It's one thing I've never tried. There's always a first time.
It might take more than one guy to keep up with you.
Thank you, Joe. It might. Robes, you want to get in on this?
It might be the only safe time to do it, Robes. There's other people to help me amuse her now.
There you go.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Alrighty. I will. Am
You
I
want to
Xing
read
out or
it?
are you Xing out? Xing me out.
I'm
Want
gonna
me
try
do it?
to.
I can do it.
I did it. Wait. Just takes 3 clicks instead of 1.
Look at there. See?
Haha. It's just I can't. There's no button. I just have to keep pushing around up there somewhere until it happens, which is probably not a good thing. That just does not sound good. You know? It sounds a little bit weird.
Look at Sturge. Hi, Sturge.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Lisa.
I've seen you somewhere before.
I know. I can't quite place you. I want to say maybe I saw you singing in a lounge.
No.
No,
Not
you weren't in
lounge.
one of those. You weren't in one of those smoke-filled lounges singing like cabaret stuff or whatever.
Nope.
Oh, that was Robes. Okay.
Yes, that was Robes.
Mm-hmm. He was in his bathrobe singing.
Yeah. Yes, I always sing in my bathrobe.
Smoking a cigar.
Well, I don't know about that.
Not a cigar.
I might have been. Might have been smoking a blunt, but,
Yeah.
Oh, that's more my speed. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I met Jason Gale in karaoke. Oh, thank you, Sacred Nerody. I saw Nerody earlier as well. She was with Julie.
Yeah.
She'll be here later, I'm sure. Yeah, I have so many stories that I wanted to read. I asked Lisa, since it was my birthday, if I could read just one of my personal essays from
Yeah,
our
yeah.
Medium page. And she was like, okay, as long as there's nothing about hurting animals in there. I'm like, I would never hurt an animal.
People get mad even if like I say something happened as an accident to an animal. I've gotten yelled at. So
Yeah, I wouldn't dare. This one is about me at a wedding reception, and yeah, you'll find out.
are you a wedding singer?
I mean, I could be, I guess, but no. The title of this one was written back on December 14th, 2025, called "The Time I Was Asked to Pay for Strangers at the Dinner Table: An Awkward Social Experience at a Wedding Reception and the Expectation to Pitch in More Than I Could Afford." And this was published in Johnson and Behavin blogs, a 6-minute read. And it's actually my most successful Medium story ever. I made over $500 on this story.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and read it. So this was more, I mean, that was more than minimum wage in northern Bosnia and Herzegovina. So the conversation we had earlier about minimum wage, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sacred was here.
Having to pay. Yeah. They have to pay me to work here. It's sad.
Mm-hmm. All right. Back in 2015, I went to my best friend's wedding. In fact, I was part of the wedding party as her best man. It was a non-traditional lesbian wedding, and I was her best friend. So yeah, I'm the best man at a lesbian wedding.
Okay.
Only natural for me to find a prominent role in her wedding. It was at her request, of course. She wouldn't have had it any other way. The only thing is, I didn't know any of her bride-to-be's family. We had a wonderfully, excuse me, scenic and beautiful wedding at Lake Tahoe. The reception was days later at a mid-priced Italian-style restaurant back in Sacramento, $20 to $50 a person for a meal. My partner Mike and I decided to spend on the lower end for ourselves, so we each got $20 plates. We'd already spent a decent amount going to Tahoe and back to Sacramento and staying in a hotel. He had even recorded the entire wedding on his tablet to give to the brides later, which they would pay him for. We had definitely both been involved in the festivities. I didn't realize my commitment would lead down a different road, though. I should have anticipated the expectation at the very least I would be asked to contribute more to everything, given that the brides had already spent a ton of money on the restaurant and the wedding. At the wedding reception, some of the other bride's family was present, and this was my first time meeting them. They seemed nice enough, but from the start, I secretly asked the server to keep mine and Mike's bill separate from the rest of the table. Then I gave an epic speech at the party, I clinked my glass, and asked everyone to pay attention and gave massive blessings to the newlyweds along with special praise for my friend. Maybe people expected me to pay more because of this role, thinking that my more prominent role meant that I had more money than all of them. By the looks of the group as a whole, I could see that most of the people there seemed to have much more money than Mike and I did. Why do I have to foot the bill for these middle-class, upper-middle-class rich people? This culture of sharing the bill regardless of how much you make or individually aid is wild. Reminds me of something I watched before about working class people with richer friends and the expectation always being there to take care of the bill or expected to pay more than they could afford. I get that the mindset and idea is that each person takes care of themselves first, and then the social expectation that the rest of the bill will also be shared. I've ended friendships over bullshit like that, though. I've had plenty of rich friends in my life suggesting where they want to go only to have them to face them when they expect me to foot the bill, and I just can't. Even my ex-girlfriend's parents back in the day thought I was low class because I couldn't afford to hang out with all of them in the finer places they enjoyed going to. So much for trying to date a girl from a rich family. Her father was a lawyer and her mother was a nurse administrator. I didn't even want her money. I liked just talking to her and being around her. Clearly, because of her parents and that attitude, that didn't end up working out. By the time we'd gotten to dinner at the wedding reception, I didn't have much money left. We did end up spending under our budget before the tip, and I always ensure tipping 15 to 20% regardless of service. I had to make sure I still had room for that when our bill came. When the waiter came, we secretly paid what we could afford and spent just under $50, including the tip. I let the waiter know that the rest of the parties would figure it out as we were ready to leave. Then a familiar tune settled in. My best friend asked us if we could help cover the rest of the bill. Everyone had just apparently paid what their share was. I failed to believe that, though, given how much some of the people drank. The confusion was over how the checks were being split and what was being charged to whom. The more intoxicated guests were miscounting the number of drinks they had ordered. After most of the 20 people in the group had paid, there was still over $250 left on the table's bill. There's no way that everyone who had drank through the night paid for all their drinks. When the bride and my best friend looked at me, hoping I'd help bail them out, I flat out said, "No, I've already spent more than enough on the wedding, helped out with a lot, and paid for what I could afford here. I'm sorry, I don't mean to do this to you. Either get the people to reassess what they bought, or you two will have to cover the rest." I know this wasn't the ideal thing to say to the newlyweds, as they had probably spent the most out of everyone in the group, but I wasn't going to be burdened with the cost I couldn't even bear, given that I couldn't even handle barely handle what I had already paid for my partner and I. They figured out how to pay for the rest. We stuck around for that, but I stood up for myself and didn't let the guilt of being part of the wedding party force me to take on debt I couldn't take on. A few of the drunk people partially paid a little bit more after, and the bride had to take on another $100. We all left, but that moment left a bad taste in my mouth. How do you confront and move past that moment? How did the people at that party view me personally after that? Did they respect that I made them pay their proper share, or were they expecting me to cover their bar tab? The food was good. We all had a great time, lively conversations. I even talked to a few of them throughout the night, but it was truly a shitty way to end the night. I wish to never be in that situation again. I try not to go to dinners with strangers anymore. A few times in the past, but only with reassurances have I done that. But there was another instance when a coworker asked me for assistance on his bill previously after he'd racked up a $200 Cheesecake Factory receipt. How does someone spend that much there? Like, how do you even do that? There were a bunch of us there, and our company had already said that we'd be spending individually, so we had to keep that in mind. Mike and I spent $50 at that dinner too, including tips, but I just stared him down and walked away when my coworker, who hadn't expected to spend $200, even though he ate 10 plates, went ahead and asked me to pay for his bill too. The lesson I take from all this is to set the expectations of the meal beforehand without expecting more from people unless they buy into it. Otherwise, you're holding people ransom and making it awkward for everyone. If you can't pay for your food, I'm not the one to pick up the bill for you.
Right.
All right, that's it. That was my story.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of social media complaints where somebody goes once and they're like, "Oh, we'll just split it 8 ways because it'll be easier and everybody will do the same thing." And then there's like 2 people there that suck down everything expensive on top of it. And they realize that their share is, they're $12 each plus another 20 for that person. And, you know, so people go, "No, you have every right." And it's easier to just say either separate checks or, by separate checks usually is the best. If you don't know people, just say separate checks. Only separate check, please, because it's not worth the headache.
Right.
Yeah. So one time my ex-girlfriend, the one I mentioned in the story, her parents, the lawyer and the nurse administrator
Right.
at the hospital,
Good corn face.
they wanted to take me to a nice restaurant downtown thinking I could afford it. I looked at the plates beforehand. I was looking online and it was like $100 a plate. Like, and that was like baseline. That was like the cheapest stuff they had there. I was like, are y'all kidding me? And then they said, yeah, just bring some money and come join us. And I'm like, oh,
Right.
No, if you invite somebody to come to where you're at, you're inviting them to pay for them.
yeah, like both of them were in the 6 figures in terms of their annual salary. Like he was a personal injury lawyer. So I don't know if he advertised on TV. I never looked, but this guy had money. And I'm like, why are you asking me? Oh, full
A lot of
circle
people
though.
who have money spend more than they make.
Yeah. So here's what I did. I looked recently because I was curious about them. and I was looking to see what happened to him. It looks like he passed away recently. I mean, I'm not enjoying that. I'm not like reveling in that, but
Thank God.
let's just say, I'm not exactly sad. Yeah. That's bad. I'm a bad person for that.
Thank
aren't I?
God, I'm worse.
Oh God, let's not go there, Mike.
Well, I think I'm gonna try to get Julie back on.
Yeah, let's
She's
get
had
Julie
enough
back
time
on.
to
Thank
chew,
you.
right?
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Happy
letting me
birthday
read on here
again.
tonight. Thank you.
Happy birthday,
And
sir.
Robes, it was great seeing you. Well, I mean,
Thanks.
being here.
Yeah, you know.
It's always great to see the ropes. Oh, she's still eating. Darn it.
Okay. Well,
Well, I can just like read mine.
sure.
Watch me chew.
Oh,
I'm on this
I
one.
was figuring
It's so good. We got
I was
Mexican.
figuring you could just stay off and come on when you were ready.
Oh, no worries. I'm good. Here I am.
Okay,
All right.
so we were looking on the atlas to see if we could find Websterville.
Mm.
And they found Websterville. Couldn't find an Orangeburg anywhere near Websterville. Couldn't find an Orangeburg anywhere in that
weird.
state. So they decide that they will do the float trip. And so the last word of the part that's been is Janice leapt from the couch to begin packing for the float trip in the morning. Once snacks and towels were in place, the last thing she packed was the camera obscura. Sandy slept fitfully. She assured herself it was just because of the strange bed in a strange location. Occasionally, Janice snored softly beside her, then would switch to a different position and quit. Sandy stared up at the ceiling. Since they didn't know how they got to Orangeburg, they couldn't be sure they had truly gotten away from it. As she thought about it more, Sandy realized she could only count a handful of people in all of Orangeburg. The gas station attendant, the oddity store clerk, the cashier at the grocery store, and the motel clerk. Other people on the sidewalk, shopping in the store, even other cars in the parking lot at the motel. If it had been a movie, none of the extras had been present. For the first time in a very long time, she rolled away from Janice, facing the door to the living room. She listened carefully to Janice's regular breathing. She felt as comforted as she felt confused. With the near miss at the Orangeburg Motel, she expected Janice to be acting a little more traumatized. Then again, the camera was never left behind since. Maybe it was the one constant that let Janice believe she could survive the inexplicable. Sandy moved as quietly as possible, unplugging her phone and tiptoeing in the dark living room. She opened up her phone's mapping application and clicked home, waiting for it to calculate driving directions and distance. The little circling icon appeared and danced in the middle of her screen in moments that felt like an eternal waiting. "What are you doing?" Sandy jumped, startled by Janice's quiet, sleep-etched voice. She looked over her left shoulder at Janice, slightly slumped, bleary-eyed, and slowly blinking in the bare moonlight and the night lights that provided dim illumination in the darkened room. "I just wanted to be sure." Sandy trailed off. She was breaking the rule, but things had gotten so off track. There wasn't really a clear answer by finding Websterville on the map. It doesn't mean it is our Websterville. Whatever our Websterville even means at this point, Sandy's darkest voice whispered to her. You can't really be sure of anything anymore. Janice nodded slowly. "Gonna go potty and go back to sleep," she smiled at Sandra. "You probably should too." "Yeah, probably," said Sandra as Janice walked into the bathroom. The spinning icon stopped. Websterville was a little over 200 miles and 4 hours from home, according to her navigation app. The expected relief did not come, however. Her own justification for looking at the app echoed and haunted her. It doesn't mean it is our Websterville. Groaning, Sandy got up, returned to the bedroom, plugged her cell phone back in, and lay down on the bed, staring at the ceiling again. When Janice returned, Sandy rolled to lay behind her, spooning. She began to stroke Janice's hair, waiting to feel her body relax and to hear her breathing become slow and even. She would not remember when or how, but finally Sandy fell asleep. The Roaring River Outfitters opened at 7. Late summer had been making the daylight arrive later than it did at the peak of summer, but there was already plenty of sun when they walked out of the cabin at 6:30. Janice took a deep breath, then exhaled. Forests that were a mix of pine and deciduous trees always had a smell to them. The years of decaying plant matter created a deep, earthy smell that made her think almost anything could be grown there with a little luck. The river sparkled in the distance, and Janice considered suggesting they wait an hour and just go sit by the water. Sandy seemed unsettled this morning, and Janice knew she hadn't slept well last night. She did find Websterville on the navigation app, though, and it was even a reasonable distance from home to be right. Maybe this would become a story they shared with friends and family in the future. Always starting with, "You will never believe this happened, but..." Janice closed the hatch of the car and headed toward the driver's side door. "I'll drive," she volunteered. She looked over. Sandy had not left the edge of the porch, standing there, coffee mug in hand, looking out to the river, morning sun glinting off of its ripples here and there. If she didn't know better, she might worry time had stopped, or at least had stopped for Sandy. Janice stood there, her arm resting on the door, looking at Sandy, debating. Should she just say her name a little louder or walk over and make sure she was okay? It looks almost like an absent seizure, Janice thought to herself, her concern beginning to grow. She opted for neither, quietly saying, "Sandy?" Sandy shuddered a second and then turned and met her eyes. "Sorry, hon, I just got lost in thought for a moment," she apologized. Janice bit her lip and nodded, then climbed into the driver's seat. The Outfitters were just across the bridge over the river. They rented kayaks, canoes, rafts, and inner tubes to tourists, dropping them off a few miles upriver and then letting the floater paddle down. There were multiple drop-off and pickup points, and the trips could be as short as 2 hours and as long as overnight. "Canoe or kayak?" Sandy asked. They always ended up in debates like this. Was it more fun to race each other or to paddle and float, just talking, visiting, and watching the other vacationers, wildlife, and scenery? Janice thought for a moment and realized that she didn't really want to be too far away from Sandy, even with the reassurance of last night's check on the navigation app. Janice didn't feel near as settled as she let Sandy believe. They had been together long enough for Janice to know that Sandy's anxiety fed off of Janice's own. The less worried Janice seemed on the surface, the easier it was for Sandy to cope with the unexpected changes in plans or emergencies. She sometimes felt like Sandy's security blanket, though she would never let anyone hear her say it aloud. She was afraid that if Sandy knew she saw through her, Sandy would lose whatever confidence she didn't talk herself into. "I think canoe," Janice smiled. "It will be nice to have some peace and quiet floating, just the two of us together." Sandy nodded and went to the counter to arrange the rental. Janice wandered the store, looking for helpful things for the float trip and T-shirts advertising the town. When she found tie-dyed T-shirts proclaiming Websterville a waterfall wonderland, she was sold. She grabbed a medium and a large and went to the counter with her prizes. Sandy looked at her dubiously. "Do you really want to have to carry them with us on the river?" Janice shrugged. "Last I knew, the car was still parked outside." Sandy opened her mouth to reply, smirked, and shrugged her shoulders. Janice knew that it was an answer she couldn't argue with. She carried the shirts to the car and exchanged them for the tote bag full of Ziploc baggies full of snacks and the camera. She got her waterproofing sleeve to put around her cell phone so she could still take pictures with it on the trip. She grabbed the small cooler with beverages, meat, and cheese for lunch and handed it to Sandy. Then they walked to the yellow school bus the other vacationers were boarding to be taken upriver to begin their trip. The bus wasn't terribly crowded. A lot of vacationers don't get up super early, especially when the best place to be during the hottest part of the day was on the river, where the temperature could be more than 10 degrees colder. On really hot days, people usually ended up in the river, which was fed by large underground springs that acted as tributaries. Even on hot days, the river didn't make it to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Janice sat behind Sandy, and they both rested their backs up against the side of the bus, chatting as the bus jolted in and out of deep potholes on dirt roads. They rounded their way up the mountain and then down to the river's edge, where they got out and made the trek to the shore while employees dragged rented gear for them. Janice stepped into the water first to take the front of the canoe, an involuntary eep escaping her lips when cold rivers swirled around her ankle. "Sheesh, that is cold," Janice exclaimed. Sandy laughed at her, then stiffened as her own feet tasted the icy chill the river maintained. Shaking her head, she held the canoe as Janice climbed in, then entered herself. The river was beautifully clear, with a mixture of sand and well-smoothed gravel in its bottom. The vacationers thinned out quickly, and within a few minutes, twists and turns and quirks of sound made it feel like Sandy and Janice were alone by themselves on the river. "Which trip are we on?" Janice asked Sandy. "The 3-hour one," Sandy replied. "That is the minimum time it would take if you just floated. They use it for the average. If we paddled the whole way, we would cut it in half. If we stop at every beach possible and walk around, explore a couple of caves along the way, it could take us more than 6. There was a 2-hour, but it felt too short, and the other ones were 6 hours or longer. One side of the river at that point was sheer limestone bluffs, with a couple of possible caves on that side. The other side, though, was low-lying river bottom, with gravel beaches and forests starting 15 or so yards off the beaches. The water in the center of the river was now deeper than 6 feet, but she could still see the bottom, though it had some rotting logs in it, vegetation both growing and caught on it,
You can't drink.
undulating with the current beneath them. Janice closed her eyes a moment. The quiet stillness made it feel like they were the only 2 people on the river. So quiet.
Well, yeah,
It must be a lot of people don't start floating so early in the morning, Janice observed. Sandy looked around thoughtfully. Did we get ahead of everyone or behind? Janice contemplated any real paddling they had done, trying to remember if they had passed anyone. I guess we must be behind. I don't remember getting ahead of anyone, she shrugged. Sandy reached into the middle of the canoe and opened the cooler and brought out a bottle of water. Want one? Please, Janice smiled. She opened the lid to the water and took a drink. A dark flash of movement under the water caught her eye. She turned to look more carefully. She didn't see anything. A splash a few feet farther behind where she thought she saw the movement happened as a red-eared slider entered the water. Must have been a turtle, she thought, laughing at herself for being jumpy over something so silly. Look over there, Sandy pointed.
Okay.
On a partially submerged tree sat 4 turtles in a row. As Sandy and Janice passed, the turtles watched them, their heads turning in unison as the canoe floated past. The effect was slightly unreal, reminding Janice of the automated singing stuffed animals that played in overpriced kids' pizza places decades before. There was something unsettling when things that shouldn't be alive seemed alive. And now Janice was sure there was something just as unnerving when things that looked alive suddenly became lifelike puppets of the real thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So good.
Well, I love that. It's just spooky enough, you know?
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everybody. Thank you.
So should I read before Robes? Because Robes is the best one for...
I don't care.
Or do we just want to chat for a while first? How long is yours, Robes?
Guardian.
I don't know.
So like 1,800 words.
And what is it this time? Is it?
It is the next chapter of The Long Journey Home.
Of the what?
The Long Journey Home.
Remind me. Guardian.
Well, I will when I read it. I got
So
I
not
got a
Guardian.
synopsis
No,
I'm gonna
not
read before it. Huh?
not Guardian.
No. It's before Guardian. Same universe
Okay, cool.
prior to Guardian.
Cool. Yeah. So should I just read my little bit of nothing? Earth?
Serial killer?
Hmm?
Your lady serial killer?
Oh, it's not. No, it's not.
It's
It's not
not?
the killer. Not the killer this time. Not yet. Let's see. Anyway, hi, Julie, and Godless America. God bless America. I'm sorry.
Is that Julie Roebuck?
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, Hero knows you, apparently. Cool. And anybody else I missed because I was stuffing my face with some
That happens.
reasonable Mexican food. Reasonable. Yeah, I know you are writing 3 stories at a time, Lisa. And how many are you writing, Robes? You've got Guardian. You've got
A bunch of them. Like
yeah, because I was
yeah.
asking you today about yeah, she keeps starting things. She's really good at starting them, and she gets really into it, and then she gets another idea. It's like squirrel, kind of, right?
Talking about me?
So let's see. Guardian is over 18,000 words, counting the new chapter. So it is Guardian. It's just a like pre. Yeah, you're such a sweet boy.
Sometimes.
Spend it.
Sometimes he's a demon.
Yeah, well, so is Finn.
And then I got the Peaches stories. I got
I love the Peaches ones. I'm waiting for there to be enough for a whole book of Peaches. You know? I mean, that would just make my heart really happy. Really happy.
and then I got a bunch of horror stories. Like I enjoy writing horror. Like I like
That's so
psychological
funny.
stories.
I love reading that and watching that on TV. I'm not good at reading it. I like to write. I mean, I'm not good at
Damn,
writing it. I like
6,000
to
words
write
already. Dude, you're
murdery
cranking.
things. What'd you say?
She's 6,375 words for Inner Darkness already. It's like crazy,
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
one's
that
less than a
one.
week old.
That's a really
right?
fun one. I know. Isn't that the most beautiful doggy? That is Hofty.
I
It
got a
belongs
couple
to
sci-fi ones I'm working on. Like I don't know.
He fell off his collar.
I
I
got the
just
West
don't
one I'm
want to
working on.
bore anybody after you is the problem. So I know, Joe, isn't that so good? That one.
Oh, come
Let me
on.
find it on here and see how I do this.
I know I felt bad for Guardian too. That was like the that was like the worst.
Let's see.
Killer.
So you can't
Well-
see me, right? Because I don't know how, or can you see me? Because I
Yeah,
got to
we
read.
can see you.
It can see me.
You can see it.
Okay, because I'm going to read. And the first prompt, this is going to be the prompt that Dawn stole all the colors.
Sorry,
And it's going to also include the other prompt that is what I forget because I've had too much neuro keeps giving me drinks. So the next one after that. So anyway, so this chapter is called Color. Stirring creamer into her first cup of coffee, Lori stepped out onto the back porch. I never get tired of this view, she said aloud. On the tree trunk, past her flowers, a squirrel stopped to watch her. Yes, this view, she said to him, making a wide, sweeping gesture with the hand holding the spoon. She laughed. He continued his pursuit of whatever squirrels pursue, jumping onto the fence and disappearing over the other side. Happy pursuits of the morning, she said in his direction. This does my heart good, she thought. At least if she was going to wake up at early dark 30, her morning cup of coffee, watching the sunrise, was the way to do it. She sipped slowly and smiled, watching the steam curl up from the coffee and dissipate into the morning air. I swear the colors are new every day. Never the exact same pink, the exact same coral. She stood silently, watching the new day's colors pushing up ahead of the sun. Streaks and stripes in purples, oranges, pinks. Then finally the sun itself stretched into view. She pictured the sun yawning and reaching the rays of its arms wide, shoving aside the colors of dawn as it greeted her. "And good morning to you," she said with a slight curtsy, careful not to spill the remaining coffee. She rolled her shoulders and yawned as she walked back into the house to start her morning. That dawn stole all the colors, she thought, smiling. Glorious. Now, shower, she thought, setting her mug by the coffee pot for a refill. Shower, then second cup. Freshly showered, hair washed, facial regimen completed, she tied her terry cloth robe around her. The last song she'd heard during her morning routine was still softly on her lips. She leaned forward, tousling her hair with a towel to start the drying process. She wrapped her head with the towel, tucking it in at the back like on 1,000 mornings before. Coffee, she thought with a happy sigh. She poured, added a little creamer, stirred slowly like she had done 1,000,000 times on other days. Still humming, she stepped out onto the back porch and what? She stopped stirring, stopped humming. Staring around her, she squeezed her eyes shut and shook her head. Opening her eyes again, she said, "This can't be." She squeezed her eyes closed and opened them again. Squeezed them closed again and opened them again. Nope, still the same. The same tree, the same cheeky squirrel, black and white like a coloring page. Her irises, her hydrangeas, all black lines and white background. She stepped further forward on the porch, looking forward, looking from side to side. The neighbors' houses, their gardens. The cat she knew was a ginger lying in the sun next door. Black and white. No gray even, just black lines on a white background. She caught the movement of the neighbor's cat from the corner of her eye and turned. Like a living pen and ink drawing, it stretched out, rolling onto its side. No, this isn't right. She looked down to her feet, to the mug in her hand. The porch's boards and railings were sketches of black on white. The flowers on the mug were simple lines of black on a white mug. Horrified, she dropped it. Black and white droplets bounced up and out as the black outlines of her coffee spread around the broken cup. The tightness in her chest fought with the swirling of her stomach. She leaned over the black and white railing and threw up into the black and white irises. Coffee and bile splashed in black and white onto the flowers, and the black and white stone walkway just beyond. I can't breathe, she thought, panic squeezing. She turned back toward her house, the black and white of her hands frightening her. She stumbled back into the house, panting. She looked up, she looked around. All was normal. The table still greeted her with its pale wood and olive green upholstered chairs. The glow of the light above the table still shone in yellow gold, washing across the table and onto the deeper brown and green of the rug beneath. Her walls were still the soft olive she had painted them. The floors still stretched in their pale walnut finish. The corners of the room held watercolor shadows. Color, she sighed. She looked down. Her robe was still a soft coral. Her hands were back to freckled tan. Her nails still painted in that great blue she didn't like but hadn't bothered to take off. She sighed, watching the pinkish tan of her bare feet as they crossed the light walnut floor. She reached for a new cup from the cupboard above the coffee pot. Yes, the flowers are still violet, the leaves are still green. Sighing happily, she reached with her freckled hands for the pot of deep brown coffee and poured. I think I'll drink this in my room. It's still a little chilly outside. Avoiding the windows, she walked barefoot on the wood floors to the safety of her room. The deep olive wall behind her black metal headboard greeted her. The whimsical framed picture above the headboard with the yellows and red calmed her breathing. She sat on the bed, scooting herself up against the floral print shams. Still greens, corals, reds, she noted, and sipped her coffee. She glanced furtively toward the window. Thankfully, I haven't opened the blinds yet. Hi, baby, she said happily as she caught the movement of her gray tabby cat coming to see her, greeting her with her squeaky meow. Come see me, she said, patting the bed beside her. As the kitty meowed her way to the bed, her tail flicked. The tip? Was the tip white now? She shook her head. No, sure, I'm just seeing things. She picked up her coffee cup from the bedside table. The coffee splashed in her trembling hand. Maybe I just need a nap. Yes, that will help. She set the cup back on the side table and slid down under the covers. A nap. She adjusted the pillow under her head. Grabbing the blankets, she squeezed her eyes closed. Opening one eye a slit, she peeked at the fabric gripped in her hands. Still green, still yellow, red, and coral flowers. Okay. Pulling them over her head, she turned on her side, breathing deeply. It'll be better. It'll be better. It'll be better. If I just sleep. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Gary. She's going to wake up and it's all going to be gone. Then what's she going to do?
Right?
I just thought that was fun.
What was it like?
Yeah.
Or was it kind of like the Langoliers?
What's the Langoliers? I don't know them.
Oh, so it's a story by Stephen King. It became at least a like Outer Limits or something episode, if it didn't become a bad TV movie, where there are people who build the day and you walk into it. And they're constantly building and tearing down reality. And these people accidentally phase out of reality and they end up seeing all the Langoliers. So then they have to be killed. And they're trying to escape the Langoliers and get back into their state of wow. So it's yeah. Yes, it's a really neat book or story of some sort.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's just the first thing that flashed into my brain when about that prompt. I was like,
it's like they didn't have the day drawn yet, and she got up too early. She would have better off staying in bed. Now we know why we're sleeping.
Getting up at early dark 30, but the cats usually exist. So
yes, that's what they're for, isn't it?
Yeah, stand on your head or put their butt in your face, one way or the other.
Right.
What? Hey, Gretchen. Oh, Lucy always puts her butt in my face. I don't know.
Yeah, cats do that.
I don't know why.
Bennett doesn't put his butt in my face, but it sure smells like it sometimes. Maybe that's because he licked his butt and then.
I was gonna say he has butt breath. Yeah, Finn is like that too. So should you wait for Lisa to come back before you start reading yours, or?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm taking the other part with me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cool.
So, let's see. Quick recap. In the long journey home, we met Seamus Campton, a maintenance engineer aboard the generation ship Ardent Horizon, where humanity has spent generations believing they are traveling toward a new world during a During a routine system check, Seamus discovers an old forgotten observation deck beyond that he expects to find the stars. Instead, he finds a blue sky. The ship never left Earth. Humanity has been living safely inside a vast habitat dome while the planet slowly healed from devastating war. The stars everyone has grown up believing in were carefully curated projections, part of the story the founders created to give future generations hope while the world recovered. In the end, Seamus discovers a letter from the founders. They admit they were never certain of the choices they had to make. This is called After the Glass. We spend much of our lives believing that knowledge will make our decisions easier. That if we gather enough facts, enough experience, enough perspective, the right path will eventually reveal itself as though it had been waiting for us all along. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the truth arrives like sunrise, illuminating everything it touches until uncertainty quietly slips away. But there are other moments when understanding does something stranger. It doesn't simplify the road ahead. It multiplies it. Every possibility begins to carry its own weight. Every choice casts a different shadow across the future. And every step forward asks us to leave another path unexplored forever. Perhaps wisdom has never been about possessing the truth. Perhaps it has always been about learning to carry it carefully enough that when the moment finally comes to share it, it becomes a bridge instead of a burden. Seamus slept very little that night. Not because his mind raced, but because it refused to settle anywhere for long. Every time he closed his eyes, the stars disappeared. In their place came drifting clouds, fractured skylines, softened by creeping green, and the quiet certainty that everything he had believed for more than half a century had been built upon a story carefully carried from one generation to the next. He had spent his entire life maintaining the illusion, not knowingly, but faithfully. The thought stayed with him longer than he wanted it to. Morning arrived as it always had. The artificial sunrise brightened the habitat, measured increments. The simulated dawn spread across the observation corridors with perfect consistency, and the ship awakened to another ordinary day. Children hurried toward lessons. Maintenance crews exchanged familiar greetings. Someone laughed somewhere beyond the corridor. Nothing had changed, except him. Seamus completed his inspection with the same care he always had, correcting a faulty air recycler, approving water filtration reports, and recalibrating the eastern starfield projection before anyone noticed the slight drift. His hands remembered the work, even when his thoughts did not. Several times he caught himself looking toward corridor E7. He could return, he could stand before the glass again. Instead, he kept walking. By midday, he found himself wondering whether silence had become its own kind of decision. Not because he wished to deceive anyone, but because every hour that passed without speaking was, in its own quiet way, shaping the future just as surely as any words he might eventually choose. And for the first time in his life, Seamus realized that maintaining a system was far easier than deciding when it was time to change one. The archive terminals occupied one of the oldest sections of the habitat. Most residents never had reason to visit. The systems quietly preserved maintenance records, agricultural yields, engineering revisions, and countless ordinary details required to keep generations alive. It was history without nostalgia, measured in service intervals, and equipment lifespans rather than memories. Seamus had spent enough years maintaining the habitat to know where older records tended to hide. He searched for section E7. The observation corridor appeared exactly where he expected it. Maintenance logs, inspection reports, environmental readings stretching back more than 2 centuries. Nothing unusual. He refined the search. Habitat containment phase. Access restricted. He hesitated only briefly before entering his senior maintenance credentials. The system paused longer than seemed necessary. Then, without explanation, a single directory appeared. Founders Stewardship Files. Not files. A file. There was no technical documentation waiting for him. No engineering schematics, no explanation of the projection system or the hidden observation deck. Only a single written document. Its title was almost disappointingly simple. To whomever opens this. Seamus sat back in the quiet glow of the terminal. He expected instructions. Instead, he found himself staring at a letter written centuries earlier by someone who had no way of knowing his name, his face, or the world in which he now lived. He rested his hand lightly against the edge of the console before opening it. For reasons he could not quite explain, it felt like reading a historical document. It felt less like reading a historical document and more like beginning a conversation that had been waiting for him his entire life. The letter began without ceremony.
Take over from me for a minute.
No formal greeting, no titles, no attempt to justify what had been done before. A single sentence had been read.
Hi, Finn.
Only a quiet acknowledgement. If you are reading this, then you have found the observation deck. More importantly, you have become the first person in generations to know that our journey was never measured in distance. Seamus read the words twice before continuing. If history has unfolded as we hoped, then the world outside these walls has begun to heal. If it is not, then none of what follows will matter very much. He found himself smiling despite the weight of the moment. Even the founders had allowed themselves uncertainty. The letter spoke of meetings that lasted until dawn, of engineers arguing with physicians, psychologists disagreeing with military planners, and parents sitting beside strangers, trying to imagine what kind of world their children might someday inherit. No one, it seemed, had entered those rooms believing deception was a noble thing. They had entered believing that extinction would be worse. Seamus leaned back from the terminal. For the first time in his life, he had imagined the founders as figures carved from certainty, people who had possessed answers unavailable to ordinary minds. Instead, the voice before him sounded remarkably ordinary, thoughtful, tired, hopeful, human. He continued reading. If you have reached this point, then our burden has become yours. You now know what we chose, but knowing alone will not tell you what to do next. Seamus stared quietly at the final sentence on the screen. It occurred to him that history was often kinder to decisions than people who had been forced to make them. For the next several days, Seamus said nothing about the observation deck. Instead, he listened. He found reasons to linger after maintenance briefings. He joined conversations that, under ordinary circumstances, he might have politely excused himself from. Rather than asking what people believed about the journey, he began asking something else. If tomorrow brought unexpected news, he said one afternoon over coffee, what do you think people would do? Most assumed he was speaking hypothetically. Counselor Illian smiled. They'd celebrate. We've been waiting generations for tomorrow. Dr. Merrill, chief psychologist, was less certain. They would celebrate first, then they would begin grieving the life they thought they understood. Across the table, an agricultural supervisor quietly shook her head. I think many people would simply go back to work. Someone still has to grow food. A few chuckled. Then the room fell thoughtfully silent. Later that evening, Seamus asked the same question of an elderly history instructor. She considered it for a long time before answering. We like to imagine the truth changes people all at once. She folded her hands in her lap. Most of the time, it changes them very slowly. No answer resembled the last. Some expected joy, others feared panic, one imagined anger, another relief. None sounded impossible. As Seamus walked back to the softly lit corridor, he realized he had been hoping someone would unknowingly make the decision for him. That one clear answer might quietly rise above all the others and relieve him of the burden he now carried. Instead, each conversation only deepened his understanding. The truth itself had never been the difficult part. The difficult part was that every future he could imagine felt equally human. Seamus returned to the archive later that evening. The habitat had settled into its familiar rhythm. The corridors grew quieter. Lights dimmed almost imperceptibly as the artificial night cycle began. Somewhere beyond the walls, ventilation systems carried on their patient work, just as they had for more than 2 centuries. He reopened the letter. The final pages felt different, less like explanation, more like confession. If you have read this far, then you already understand something we did not when we first sealed these doors. History has a way of making difficult decisions appear inevitable. Looking backward, people often imagine that those who came before them simply knew what they had to do. I hope you never make that mistake about us. Seamus read more. Slowly now. We argued for weeks. Some believed the truth should remain visible from the very beginning. Others believed hope could not survive if it was asked to carry so much grief all at once. We were engineers, physicians, teachers, psychologists, mothers, fathers. We brought our convictions into the room, left carrying only our uncertainty. The next sentence stood alone. There was never a clear answer. Seamus rested quietly in his chair. Across 2 centuries, the burden he had been carrying no longer felt entirely his own. The founder continued. In the end, we did not choose the path because we believed it was perfect. We chose it because every other path seemed to risk losing the future entirely. If you now stand where we once stood, I ask only one thing of you. Do not ask what decisions we would have made. Ask what decisions your own time deserves. The cursor blinked softly at the bottom of the screen. For several long moments, Seamus did nothing but sit with the silence the letter had left behind. Seamus powered down the terminal, sat for a while in the quiet archive. Nothing around him had changed. The ventilation system still whispered through the unseen ducts. The overhead lights still glowed with the same careful warmth. Somewhere beyond the walls, thousands of people were finishing ordinary days, preparing meals, reading to their children, and looking up at stars that had never existed. The habitat continued exactly as it had the day before. Only one man now carried a different understanding of it. As he walked back through the corridors, he found himself studying the faces that passed him. A young couple laughing over something neither of them could explain without a smile. An elderly mechanic patiently showing an apprentice how to repair a started valve. Two children racing toward evening lessons, convinced that somewhere ahead of them waited a world no human had ever seen. Their hope was real, even if its destination had never been. He wondered whether that distinction mattered as much as he once believed. Perhaps every generation inherits more than buildings, history, or machines. Perhaps it only inherits unfinished questions, quietly passed from one pair of hands to the next. Each generation asked not to find perfect answers, but to carry them with a little more wisdom than those who came before. Seamus looked once toward the distant corridor leading to Section E7 before continuing home. Tomorrow would still be there. And for one more night, so would the stars. I can't hear anybody.
Sorry. I said, wow.
There was no sound.
Finally.
Here you go.
Oh,
No sound.
no sound.
No. Oh, to unmute.
Everybody was muted.
What a hard. Well, we didn't want to.
Are you gonna post that because I missed part of it because I had to deliver something
I will.
to a
Yeah.
neighbor.
Yep.
Look at my baby, Finny.
He looks so
Yeah.
happy.
Poppy is very jealous.
He's like that, Heather. He's just mesmerizing, right?
Poppy is very jealous right now.
Honey. Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, everybody.
And it just to all
Sorry. Wrong dog is in
There's a.
in the arms. She can't really pick you up like that.
Up, he moved.
Boy, Finn, I didn't know it was possible. You're
It's
we're some bandits.
Yeah, I
so
kind of
funny.
wrote the long journey home like a while back, but I didn't really know where to go with
Okay,
it.
it's
I
not
had
your
like a few ideas, but then
Done.
once I wrote Guardian, I was like, that was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our dog.
Yeah.
What happened is they
Jason.
rescued
I
it out
almost
of the
said
mess that I'm
balls,
creating right
Jason.
now.
Huh?
What?
They rescued it out of the mess I'm creating right now. We can put all these
Right.
together in a row.
Right?
You know?
Right.
I create this terrible dystopia. They decide to pretend they chucked it all and went out into space. And they're going to
Right?
show up and land back on Earth once it's finally recovered from all the bullshit.
Right? Oh my god. So much bullshit. So much.
Right. Yeah, I might be
Yeah,
smoking
Jason
old
G.
Jason. It's all right.
Jason G. Robes is always looking that lighter.
I cannot read the text from here.
No?
No.
Just a little. Yeah. Just,
Jason
Jason
said
G
he,
said
I know,
he heard,
I
heard
just heard
someone
a
spark
lighter.
a lighter.
a little bit of
He's
the
always
ganja,
lighting his bowl, I
Okay.
think. Bowl, right? I'm so stupid about things. But
Oh,
yes.
kitty. I say that.
Thanks, Jason. No. Oh, baby. Oh,
Yep.
honey.
Now the next ones will be about things
Honey.
moving with the habitat.
I know it's not clean. Oh, I'm sorry. It's so dusty here. He's allergic to my housekeeping. Yeah.
That was a lot of sneezing.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's why I keep telling Robes to come live here because he cooks, he cleans, all the things that I don't do. Yeah. Oh, this is a gorgeous standard poodle, right?
Yeah, he's a standard poodle.
Yeah.
He needs to be groomed
Yeah.
a little bit.
Gorgeous, though.
And
That is
super
so
hard.
funny. That's funny, though, Jason. It's like great minds think alike,
Do
right?
you see yourself, buddy? You see yourself right there?
Can you see? Look at
My
you.
goodness. Oh.
Because Hofsty actually does watch TV
Them
at
puppies.
Nero's house. So,
He does.
right?
Cool.
Yeah, he actually pays attention.
If he
He
gets more
needs the
active, if there's
enrichment.
animals on.
Finn's just like,
He gets more active if they're dogs or cats.
baby.
He recognizes himself. That's when he's like, "What?"
Yeah. Who is this? Who is that?
They're so good looking.
Right?
They're the best looking dog I've ever seen. And they seem so smart. I bet that's a smart
Funny.
doggy that I can see in that. It doesn't
Yes,
smell
yes,
like any
indeed.
doggy.
That is Neuro and her beautiful
Nope.
dog Hofty, and then Bandit's over there.
My dogs are much prettier than me.
Well, we're not going for it's not a competition.
It doesn't matter. It's a competition. This is the
I
truth.
probably have the biggest kitty though.
Hofty's gorgeous. Hofty is gorgeous, I gotta say.
But Brandon's
Amazing.
sorry too.
I have the biggest kitty.
Try to have some.
Yeah. I love
His
the
tongue.
tongue. Oh my gosh, I love the tongue so much.
That means he's relaxed.
Very relaxed, huh?
Yeah, the more it's out, the more relaxed he is.
Yeah, I'm like, what do I do when I'm relaxed?
As when Lori and Tim gave him to me, they said make sure that he gets his tongue sucked back in his mouth once in a while so it doesn't dry out and get chucked. So
Oh
go,
dear, is
lap,
he
lap, lap.
missing? Is he missing teeth?
there we go.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
it's because he has a underbite.
Oh, okay.
Can I move you?
I had a dog with an
See
underbite.
that?
Joe, that's
So his
cool.
lower jaw is underdeveloped, so he can't keep his tongue in his mouth
Mm.
while relaxed. He can.
Oh,
if
he's got an
not relaxed.
overbite.
Did you see what Joe said?
Underbite.
She says, I love
Overbite's
grooming
top.
poodles.
Underbite's down.
Did I say underbite?
Yeah, he has an overbite.
Oh, I meant overbite.
Because I had a dog with an
That's
underbite.
the
And
top?
her bottom
Yeah.
teeth like came out over her nose.
Yeah. So yeah, his lower jaw is just. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
I didn't like that
Nice.
much.
Gorgeous lion. I
Don't
love
let
that,
Adam
Joe.
snip at his tongue tapped. I go like this, blap blap blap, blap blap, and I'll pull it back in.
He's so cute. He's very cuddly too. I was
Yeah.
holding him.
God, he loves the cuddle.
He's very cuddly.
Yeah.
So is Hofty actually.
Guess how old he is?
This one?
Yeah, I'm asking the chat to ask. Guess
Right,
how
but
old he
this
is.
one.
16?
Mhm.
I'm guessing 16.
17.
17?
Close. Very close.
Thank you.
17, almost 18.
Wow.
They age pretty slow, those Chihuahua mixes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finny,
he's also-
Finny is one too. Whoops.
It's just a tank.
Squeezing down my
Oh
arm.
crap!
I can't
You
bring
need
it.
some tissues or something.
It's okay. Here's a napkin.
Okay.
That's fine. I just have that stupid thin old skin. It's really annoying.
My tummy skin's already really old. I accidentally
You're-
tore it the other day.
What? Did you tear?
My tummy skin
No.
from all of the burning that I've done to it over the years. It's
Oh dear.
and I was
Wow.
trying to scrub it too hard and I ripped it.
Oh my god. From the burning? What burning? You mean from the
I slept
heating
on
pad?
it with a heating pad all the time.
Yeah,
Mm.
I got a really bad burn on my back one time because I fell asleep on it, and it was
Yeah, I slept with it every night for years, all night. And it's not a good thing to do.
Joe said I had a bad habit of hanging my tongue out at at rest as a kid. I learned by my mom flicking my tongue. Oh dear. Yes. And Laura says, he's so cute. He's 17.
Yeah.
Wow, he doesn't look
It's
it.
18.
And Sacred says, "Aw." Yeah. And he
I
looks,
can't read it from here.
Jason G says he looks exactly like his housemate's late pup, Billy. Yeah. That
No,
Chihuahua.
these are our
That Chihuahua
puppies.
mix.
Chihuahua.
That's what Finn is too, is Chihuahua.
Finn's Chihuahua Pomeranian. He's
Yes.
Chihuahua Boston Terrier mix.
He's adorable. He looks a lot like our first
he-
dog. When
I thought, and the vet, when I originally took him to the vet, they thought that he was a pin
Okay.
mix.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I still had a substantial amount of my back pay, which I had to use to save his life. But I also threw in a DNA test there. And that's when we found out he's got gnome in him at all.
Really? How funny.
None. It's Chihuahua, Boston Terrier, Dachshund, and Cocker Spaniel, and like just under 2% American Eskimo.
Yeah, he has some Dachshund in him. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them.
Dachshunds
Yeah,
are-
sometimes the Dachshund Chihuahua mixes kind of look min pin. It seems like.
Well, I had a
Yeah.
Tweenie, and
over her Terry. It wasn't that. Oh, cute. It was the ew. Okay. Over her Terry. Sacred. I thought it was the how cute to the dog, but it was the ew, how gross that Lisa tore her tummy from Sacred. Yeah.
Bennett. I guess they call the Chihuahua Boston Terrier mix Chibos.
What does that mean?
Chihuahua Boston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chewini. We had Chewinis at the rescue.
I did have a Tweenie.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Zoe. He didn't live quite as long. He lived to be just over 11.
Who's that?
I keep
That's
thinking
my
of it.
friend that I delivered the stuff to. Oh, your grandma had it.
Yeah.
He's just my little tank.
Baby.
It took out like 18 inches of her intestine.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she lived to be 96 after that. And they must have did a really good job cutting out everything. I don't know when what stage she was at when they did it, Jason. It was in 1968, and she lived to be 96. So I would have been 46. So she lived another 40 years after. So, but yeah.
All right.
But anyhow, now we've caught up with reading everything.
Right.
And the kitty cat has abandoned me. That's it, Jason G. You must have scared away the kitty. That's it. I'm going to have to dock your page now too. Of course, I haven't started paying you to come here yet, but 0 times 0 is still 0, so it's fine. Keeping your wages. It's just too bad that I actually keep any money when I keep their wages.
No sound, really.
No sound.
No sound.
Or is she just doing that on purpose?
She's being muty.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm never sure with her. She likes to play games on me. It looks like she's muted, though.
I think she's muted.
Oh, no. The boogie one?
Yes, no
Jason,
sound,
it's
Julie.
it's funny what you do whenever you're on, whenever you're all doped up on stuff after surgery. We took video of my son back then. We really did. We were like, yeah, tell us all about that. And then, of course, there's sacred stories. She and some other woman were doped up after getting colonoscopies, and they were going to go get chicken potatoes, I believe is what they agreed on. And her son and the woman's husband were like talking about how crazy it was. She's doing really well. I just wish I knew what she was saying.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Was I talking before? No.
No.
What the hell am I doing?
I don't
know, but now
your
sound is lower. Is not.
I can't
with
hear
your
Lisa.
Voice.
Maybe this.
There you go.
I figured it out.
Hi.
I
didn't have to do anything.
Except
Hovered over you and it fixed it.
If you were by yourself, I would have been convinced you were just trying to psych me out. But since there were other people there, I figured it wasn't happening. But if you've been alone, Laura, she doesn't even know what chicken potatoes are. Sacred has
No,
no
I
idea what
don't.
chicken potatoes are, but they were adamant they were going to go get chicken potatoes because they were really hungry because they were fasting from the
Potatoes.
surgery or for the
Okay.
colonoscopy.
Yeah, that ventral. Yeah, I like doing the ventral.
Julie's my friend.
Yeah. Poor her, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sure. For her.
Mm.
Everybody wants to be your friend. It's not fair.
It's chicken potatoes. What the hell?
Yeah,
I
you
wanna
don't
be
you don't
Julie's
remember
friend.
her chicken potato
You
story?
are Julie's
No.
friend.
You guys don't
are
remember
Julie's-
Sacred's chicken potato story?
I don't.
She
sound
was
familiar.
getting colonoscopy.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And she and this other woman who were getting one, they were having this discussion. And both of them were high off their gourds. Neither of them remembered it later. And they had this agreement they were going to go get chicken potatoes. And they were adamant they were going to go get chicken potatoes.
Okay.
And the woman's husband asked her son, "Do you know what chicken potatoes are?" He's like, "No, I hoped you knew what they
Oh,
Right?
funny. In the recovery room. Yeah, you're still, both of you were high.
See, what stands out to me, because that was my introduction, was spaghetti boobs, which became noodle boobs.
Noodle boobs.
Yeah.
And then knitting
Noodle
noodle boobs.
Yeah.
And all the things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Knitting needle boobs.
Knitting needle noodle boobs.
Mhm.
Which has the same cadence as rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Yeah.
Right?
And here
Knitting
I
needle
was
noodle boobs.
I was chatting along about miniature dachshunds and nobody
Mhm.
knew.
All right.
Yes, they are assholes. Dachshunds are assholes,
Mm.
she says.
And chihuahuas are demons.
Yes.
I have a Great Pyrenees. I don't have
He's
to
my
worry about
second partial demon.
Oh, baby. Crispy battered buckets of, that's hard to say.
Okay, what?
Joe says
crispy
we
battered
had,
buckets of fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy. I don't see what's hard to say about that.
shut up.
Have crispy battered
haven't
buckets
been-
of fried chicken and
You
mashed
haven't
potatoes
been
and gravy.
supplied, been being supplied.
I brought 100 proof.
50 battered bucket.
Yes.
All
And,
right.
you know, vodka, it's like you mix it with something you don't even know is there. And pretty soon you're slurring.
I slid
it
it
Yeah.
out of the
I-
sheet. I
Talking while you're muted.
split sheet. I sit.
100 proof.
Oh, man. I don't even know what that means.
Split a
But
sheet. A sheet.
I
I
can
split
feel
a upon a slit sheet. I sit. That's yeah. That one's too long too, though.
I don't know how
So-
many of
Saying
y'all
halfway through it.
were present when I read my nonsense thing the other day.
Oh, my gosh. That is too funny. I can't even believe you could.
I did that sober.
I don't even know how you tried to. I mean, I looked at it. It just looked like you were speaking in tongues. And yeah.
Actually, I don't think I could have done it if I had drank any alcohol. I was already tripping over my tongue a lot.
Did any of you see that where she was doing her like totally nonsense thing for
I heard it.
Panorama? Right?
It's crazy.
Naked
Unhinged.
shopping. Who did naked shopping?
I don't know.
Assuming you did that over the computer, because I don't think you would get away with that in the department store.
I know, right? Must have been
All right.
online.
Supermarket or whatever.
She apparently ran all the gas out of her son's car. He stayed with her and didn't realize she'd get up and go driving in the middle of the night.
Oh, right. Save
And there was
your
all
life.
all these food wrappers in the back of his car, and there was no gas left in it.
Yeah.
And she doesn't remember if she even was dressed.
Oh my goodness.
And
Pajamas on. That's it.
One
No
line.
undies or nothing.
no undies. No.
You were showing your kibble and bits.
Donald, where's your
In
treasure?
the cardboard fried bucket.
Yeah. Oh my God.
She could have been running around mostly naked somewhere in Michigan to get the snacks.
Crispy battered
It
buckets.
wasn't in
Yeah.
the dead of winter, was it? Because
I don't think she noticed if it was.
Ooh, that's
going through
weird.
menopause? Because I think that's probably the only way you can survive going naked in the Michigan winter. Going through menopause, and you're like atomic, man.
Hopefully, she was going through the drive-through. Were you
Hot
going
flashes
through
in
the?
your joke.
Were you going through the drive-through? Oh yeah, I only had those for like 2 weeks, so it was great.
Oh,
Two
yeah,
weeks? I had mine for
Jason.
7 years.
Yeah, well, because
Yeah,
I
did you
had
find that
everything
already?
scooped out, and then I just went through like 2 weeks. It was awful.
No,
I
okay.
read a
I had a
forum.
parcel when I was 31.
Oh, okay. Well,
You've
that's
been
good.
disappointed.
I had everything but I had the womb part removed in
yeah.
my 40s, early 40s.
They cleaned me out
Mm.
like the seeds in a cantaloupe.
Kind of wish they'd taken it all at once. I'd have gotten
Yeah,
it
right?
faster.
Yes.
7 years of hot flashes, especially when
No,
the
that'd be awful.
first time is your first summer in subtropical East China in the summer.
No.
She doesn't.
When you have 100-degree rain and you start hot
Ah,
flashes.
I remember when I first was in Tennessee, and it would rain and it would still be hot out. I thought that we were going to have like the end of the world storm or something. It was freaky, and then my friend just went, "Oh no, it does that all the time here." And I'm like,
Yeah. I had a backpack full of thermoses full of ice chips.
that makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Makes good sense.
Right?
Yeah, that is so hilarious, though, Sacred.
What did she say?
The thing that she
Sounds
said
great.
about going shopping without her clothes on.
Jokes
yeah.
are writing themselves.
Oh my word! Oh,
Empty of gas, full of food packages.
oh my word!
Yeah, going through hot
Hey.
flashes.
Stefan,
The sun starts dying. Just throw someone going through hot flashes at it. You'll be fine.
Dang!
You'll revive that sun.
Wow!
Hello,
Yeah.
Stephen.
Hello, Stefan.
Hey, Stefan.
Stefan.
Stefan. Am I saying it
The
right?
four more minutes,
Stefan.
Stefan.
Is it Stefan?
Stefan?
I thought that's what it was.
Stefan.
We
Did I
got
make
4
shit
minutes
up
till
all the
time to go
time?
home.
Mm.
Oh,
I like
he's
Stefan.
back.
Mhm.
He is the other high pitched kitty meow.
Who
The
is?
big guy.
Really?
A high pitched kitty
The
meow.
one that stands like this?
Yes. Big goofball. It has a very high pitched meow.
He's talking about an actual cat.
He actually
Mm.
About
chirps
an actual
even.
cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's really huge. You woke up in
It makes
jail
sense
one time in
for Lisa to be
isolation.
saying Stefan had a
Oh yeah,
high-pitched
right.
kitty meow.
Right. I know. I got a little confused there too in the middle. I was on the ground. I banged on the door, and a police officer came and told me to get back and opened the door and said, "What do you want?" And I said, "I just want to know, was I walking or was I driving?" And he said, "I don't know. I'll go find out." He came back and he said, "Turns out you were urinating on somebody's tree.
Oh, my.
You're lucky you're not in here for public exposure." Oh my word.
Wow.
This is the one that has the high pitched chirping meow.
Oh baby.
Okay.
Look, Jason, I don't know if women get away with this, but there were men all the time who, in China, they would just like go off into, just face away from public or whatever and pee because they needed to. And
Well, it's much easier for them, I must say.
God,
Much
kinda
easier.
gross.
Well, it stinks the place up, right? Yeah.
Well, one time
We
when I
used
was
to pee outside when I was a kid.
sitting outside,
My mom wouldn't let us back in the house.
going down to the subway. I sat outside. It was nighttime. It was after work. And it wasn't a bench area. It was like a plant area in front of plants, like a sort of like a low wall.
Mm.
So it functioned as a bench. And I didn't see it. I sat down and I felt wet.
Oh no.
And then I smelled it.
That's tragic. I mean,
Fortunately, it was at night, so I was going home from work and not going to work. But I ended up not taking the subway. I took a cab. And I went straight to the shower with my clothes on.
I was gonna say, did you stink up the cab then too?
Well,
Mhm.
I mean, they weren't necessarily very clean anyways.
Ooh. I am so full now, but it was so good. I was so
Good.
fun. So
Buses and the subways were clean.
Ooh,
Cabs,
really?
not so much. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Subways, I mean, that doesn't seem like that would be.
The buses had TVs on them.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eat, yeah.
She also tried to send you out in your underwear one year when she didn't have
Yeah.
swimsuits for you yet. That's
That's
so
not okay.
sad.
We were like 4, and I can remember being so offended that she'd think I should go outside in my little undershirt and panties.
Yeah.
With the day of the week on them and everything.
Oh.
You know? No, I am not going outside in my underwear, Mother.
Hey,
Oh,
no
funny.
furniture, damn it. Come here.
Joe. my daughter, who lives like half hour away from here, they live like a block and a half from a park, a big park. It's really pretty. But they get homeless people through there a lot of the time. And they came home one time from being out, and there was a homeless guy on their little front porch glider having fun with himself. Yeah, just decided that was a good place to get it on, I guess. And
Alrighty.
Thanks for fighting
Wow.
for more affordable housing.
they
Lonely
were
people are everywhere.
Homeless people.
they
Right.
were very unhappy, and it was like, ew, ew. I don't know if I can ever sit on that again. But of course, it's one of those things that has like it's a old thing, vintage thing, so it has a weird shaped cushion that you can't just buy anywhere. So yeah, sad. They have to go up on their porch, which they have a little gate, like a dog gate across.
So they like got in.
Mm.
Well, it is 10:30.
Yes, it is.
No, it ain't.
It most certainly
I
is.
know it's 8:30 here, but
8:30,
people
11:30.
time.
It's 30. It's 30 minutes after the hour.
Yeah,
Wherever
is.
we are.
You're just in the future.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Isn't that awesome? I tell you, it's not any better.
Right.
But in case you were
Not any
curious,
better. No.
it
That's
sucks
improved.
just as much here.
Okay, no, still sucks. All right then.
Night,
All right.
everybody.
It's been
Good night,
fun,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you for being here.